Hello, I'm Jennifer Stevenson, District Library Media Specialist for the Morrison School District, and Cheryl has asked me to talk a little bit about the Education Pathway class that we currently have here at Morrison High School. In terms of the endorsement, this class satisfies the 60-hour supervised experience and could, for us at least in the future, help endorsement students meet a couple of other criteria, including the team-based challenge portion. So we started the class 2 years ago after our then principal was looking to sort of revamp. We had a student aid class that wasn't working. So Cheryl suggested that we move that class in the direction of the education pathway and gear it towards students who are interested in education, since we'd agreed to the endorsement and all of that, and asked then if I would be the teacher, quote unquote, of the class. So after gathering a group of teachers to agree to host students, we met over the summer and decided that we would base the class on the Danielson model as far as assignments and focus went. And then we set a couple of goals of things that we wanted students to get out of the class. So we basically had three main goals. Number one, if students were already interested in a career of education, to sort of help them hone their interests and perhaps decide on a specific area that they'd like to go into. Goal two, if they were still up in the air about career choice, give them as much knowledge as possible to hopefully help them make up their mind one way or another. And goal three was then to kind of let them see what teachers and other educators do on a regular basis. So kind of give them a firsthand experience working with students behind the scenes in a classroom or another setting. So there are two parts to the class, the in the classroom part and the instruction part. So before the year begins, hopefully before, I schedule students quarterly with a different teacher in the district. This can get a little bit hairy since each student takes the class at whatever period is open in their schedule. So technically the class is offered every period of the day. So that means that I need to find a placement teacher for that student who does not have a prep during that time or lunch or something when the student has class. For the first week of school, then the students come to me to go over the class syllabus, placement expectations, and then they sign their student agreements. This is helpful because I'm usually also waiting for teacher agreements to be signed and returned to me, because I can't put students in the classroom with other students until I have a signed agreement from them and their parent or guardian, and then the teacher that they'll be placed with. This is especially important because we have students sometimes work with the speech and language pathologist, and so she gets special permission from the parents of the students that she works with as well. I believe Cheryl has copies for you of both the syllabus and the teacher agreement. If not, contact me and I can share those with you. So after the first week, the student will visit their educator every day during their designated time, and then they switch when the quarter ends. I try to schedule students around their interests or potential career choices. So, for example, this year I have a student interested in teaching PE and a student that's interested in teaching art. So I have scheduled her with all of the art teachers in the whole district, so she gets to experience every grade level of teaching that. The student is evaluated each week by their placement teacher for a grade. And then there's also assignments that they're responsible for that get graded by me. And during their time there, they do everything from making copies to working with small groups. Sometimes they teach a whole class lesson. And my PE student this year, I got reports that under his placement teacher's supervision, he's actually running PE and doing a good job. So they enjoy it most of the time. So for the instruction part then, since the students are spread out throughout the day, the class is mostly online through Google Classroom. So I post assignments in there weekly on different education topics, including rubrics, learning styles, physical classroom setup, standards, professional development, licensure, all that stuff, and lesson planning. So that's one of the big ones. Students are required to design and implement a lesson plan each quarter. That's their large assignment. And then their other large assignment is sometime in the second semester, I go around and evaluate them at each of their placements using a modified Danielson. And besides the Google Classroom, the students and I meet face-to-face twice a month for 30 minutes each during their homeroom time. And I use these times to explain assignments, answer questions, and then we do brief lessons on upcoming topics. I have Google Slides presentations for most of these. Been informative. If you have any questions or want to share anything or want me to share anything with you, just contact me. Thanks a lot.